Well, let's have a conversation on the back of this latest release from the Ghana Statistical Service, and the 3 News Research Desk has put together a very nice dashboard for you tonight. Ever heard about the phrase something small for the boys? Well, in Ghana, sometimes it feels like you can't get anything done without dropping, if you like, something small, whether it is renewing your license or getting a signature, or just, trying to move up the queue. The unspoken rule is no gift, no help. Well, this year, the numbers are out, and I should tell you that they're telling quite a full story. Let's dive into the bribery and gift-giving dashboard 2024. At the heart of the story is the stat that 18.4% of people who engaged public officials in 2024 gave them a gift. Now, that's nearly 1 in every 6 interactions. And no, this does not include birthday presents. We're talking about facilitation fees, something to speed up things, or as people put it, grease the wheels. Bribery or appreciation, it's yours to decide. Let's move on to what next this is talking about. Who is doing the giving? Now, over 3/4, and I'm talking about some 77.4% are men. Is this suggesting that men, possibly due to the occupational exposure or societal expectations, are more entangled in transactional exchanges? Maybe. We're also saying this, that 61.9% are urban dwellers. Apparently, the city and its life, it comes with a price. And sometimes it is in brown envelopes, white envelopes, hampers. Could it also be that the fast pace of city life and the increased access to officials, or just a sign of urban hustle, meeting bureaucratic bottlenecks, that sometimes a gift will help facilitate it easier? These are other things that we're looking at. How old are the gifters? Now, the 35 to 49 age group, they dominate with 43% of the share. This group of people, they are the core working class. They are active, they are mobile, and they are constantly engaging with public institutions. In terms of education, this is what it tells us, that both junior middle school and graduates, I'm talking about for junior middle school graduates, 26.4%, and those with tertiary education, we're also seeing some 25.7%. They are almost equally likely to give, education. They are likely to give. But education, it seems that it does not fully shield one from the practice of giving gifts or bribes, if you like, by extent, corruption. Now, let's talk about the employment statistics. Now, to employment, 75.6% of givers, they were employed. The data is certainly hinting that economic activity often meets administrative friction, and that's where the gifts come in. Let's move on to this. What about persons with disabilities? Persons with disabilities in this regard. A staggering 21.1% of persons with disabilities, they give gifts, even higher than the general population. 40.1% of those, they had physical disabilities. 32.5%, they had visual impairments. Now, this is raising concerns and troubling questions about how systematic barriers may be even harder to overcome for the most vulnerable group of people we have in this country. Now to the regional differences, a regional snapshot of what we're talking about. Location matters. Highest incidence, you can see the Greater Accra is leading with some 22%, followed by the Ashanti region with some 18.1%. The lowest we're looking at, Savannah with 1% and Northeast with 1.1%. To show minimal cases. Now, this geographic disparity may reflect different levels of development, population density, or access to services. You tell me. If we're moving on to some other factors in relation to this whole concern we're talking about. Now, what is being given? We're talking about the gift box itself. What is being given? Here's the gift menu. Now, cash is 85.2%. No surprises. It is still king. There's the mention of food, drinks, because sometimes maybe a bowl of food often opens doors than a phone call will do. There's also the mention about services or favors. That's like 4.4%. Valuables like 1.4%. But the message, I'm sure, is clear. When it comes to moving things along, money is still talking, and it is talking very loudly. Now, to where it is happening the most. Police-related agencies, they had the highest bribery rates. MTTD led with 61%, general duties at 46.7%. But my question to you is, are you surprised? I don't think so. The institutions meant to uphold law and order, they are, ironically, the most compromised. In fact, they are the ones getting, if you like, sorted the most. A very disturbing development we need to look at. But where is it better? Lowest bribery rates, that's what we're talking about right now. The Minerals Commission, 0% according to the data from the Ghana Statistical Service. The Ghana Statistical Service is also mentioned here, 4.0. Parliament, 4.8. Social Security, 8.0. The narcotics control, we're looking at some 6.6. Do you agree? These institutions, they offer models of restraint, and they could be examples of best practices. Whether it is low interaction or high integrity, they deserve mention. Unless you watching us disagree with these stats that the Ghana Statistical Service has given to us. Now, there's a part that gives hope, and I'm talking about the silver lining. 92% of people who were asked for a bribe refused. That's huge. And guess who led the resistance? The police saw 32.4% of those refusals. So, what I'm saying is that the police, according to the numbers, they asked more, but they were also refused more as well. This is where the change begins, when citizens push back the power of saying no. So based on this development, let's conclude this way. The Ghana Bribery and Gift Giving Dashboard, like we've explained to you right now in 2024, it is more than just a collection of stats. It's a mirror held up to our society. And it exposes a culture that must change. That one day, we'll be able to walk into an office and only be asked one thing. How can I help you? And not, what have you brought? Let us know what you think about this dashboard, the numbers given to us by the Ghana Statistical Service, and how it impacts your life, whether we are on a good tangent. I should also remind you that it was put together by the 3 News Research Desk. Enoch and Wisdom put this together nicely, but the data is from the Ghana Statistical Service. Those are some other stories tonight.